In agribusiness today, city and town mayors who live along the Mississippi River say container shipping could become an economic opportunity for those communities. The mayors held the first ever Mississippi River Economy Summit in Memphis. The group represents municipalities from Minnesota to Louisiana, and the mayors say each of their economies depend on the financial and physical health of the river as a whole. The group says it wants to act as a driving force to get needed improvements for locks and dams.
You know, if we can put it on a barge in Dubuque and you can't get through a lock lower in the Mississippi, you know, you're sitting there with a product that you can't deliver to the market. Likewise, coming upstream, products that come upriver. If you can't get through the locks and dams, we won't benefit from that in the northern stem. So you really have to look at the river as a whole when you're looking at all of these issues of transportation or recreation and commerce.
One idea discussed is a potential growth in container shipping on the river. Containers, of course, already move tons of cargo on ships and rail cars, but now the mayors want to check on the viability of moving those containers via barge on the Mississippi. Now, they say it will relieve freight congestion, create economic opportunity, and attract investment in the river infrastructure. Our guest here at the Agribusiness Desk today is Jim Bauer, Bauer Trading. Jim, one of the things I'd like to ask you about is what's happening with China. And I know there's a little bit of concern about perhaps our dollar's going down and their economy is growing faster than we can stand.
Well, China's very interesting right now in that they've let their currency come up relatively substantially in a short period of time, particularly against the value of the dollar, which has obviously eroded dramatically in the last several months. This sets the stage for them, and of course they've got a growth rate now of about 7.8%, well above ours, but still they need to have that economy churning along pretty good domestically and internationally.
Right.
And consequently, if that Chinese currency gets too high versus the dollar or versus their competitive nations, I think you'll probably see some type of intervention by both China and Japan and retaliate or come back in and try to at least stabilize their currency value because they're starting to be taken out of the export market. The other thing about China is, I always use that phrase, do what China does, not what they say. And every time we get this sharp dip in the dollar and or a sharp dip in soybean prices or wheat prices, it seems like they're in the wings every single time, which tells me that demand base is not only big, but it's getting even bigger because of the standard of living throughout the country. So again, watch the value of the dollar. If it continues to decline, don't be surprised to see China come in and put some type of measure to slow the ascent of their own personal currency.
Okay, thank you very much. Jim Bauer has been our guest here on Ag Day. Back to one moment.
For a free 2-week trial to Jim's daily global market letter, call Bauer Trading toll free at 1-800-533-8045.